Hey, my name is Zach Pasquarello, and I own a bookkeeping business. And now I am teaching you exactly how to start a bookkeeping business because I started my business 3 years ago and I had no experience. And I've learned a ton of lessons. I've made a ton of mistakes. So the whole point of me doing this is so that I can teach you what I've learned so that you can avoid the mistakes that I made so that you can fast track to success. I currently have 44 clients. I'm making over $20,000 a month. And I want you to have the exact same success that I am currently having. I am able to teach all of these things because these are real things that I'm doing right now in my actual bookkeeping business. This is not theory. This is not stuff that might work. This is stuff that's actually working for me right now. So I developed a free course. The link is in the description of this video. It's a very brief introduction. And then I also have a full course with everything you need to start your business from start to finish. And then finally, I'm holding weekly meetings. They're live. They're in a group setting. They're every single Monday at 3 p.m. The link for everything is in the description of this video. If you want to learn more, check it out. Okay, now let's not waste any time. I want to talk about how I manage 44 clients. So in my course, I talk about things like bookkeeping fundamentals, QuickBooks online tutorials, sales, marketing, and then finally, I talk about customer service and managing clients. So if you are thinking about starting a bookkeeping business, or maybe you're trying to grow your bookkeeping business, this video is perfect for you. The number one piece of advice I have for you: keep it simple. You don't need fancy CRM software. You don't need to overcomplicate things. Bookkeeping is honestly pretty straightforward. You're just doing three things. You're recording transactions, you're reconciling accounts, and you're generating financial statements. That's all you need to do. That's all you need to keep track of, and you don't need to overcomplicate things. I do recommend try to implement these processes that we're about to talk about early on in your business. If you have 2 or 3 clients, you might not think this is super important. This might not be a big deal, but I promise you, as soon as you get 10, 15, or 20 clients, this stuff becomes extremely important. I know that because I went through this 3 years ago whenever I started my own bookkeeping business. Now I have 44 clients, and honestly, I get really stressed out in the first week of every month because there is a lot of work that needs to be done to close out your clients' books from the month before. But the good news is you don't need to waste money on expensive, fancy CRM software. You just need to keep it simple. I only use Microsoft Excel spreadsheets. So stick around. After I'm done talking about this stuff, I'm actually going to show you the exact onboarding agreement and the exact onboarding checklists and Excel worksheets that I use in my business. So you're not going to want to miss that. So for the onboarding process, I try to keep it as simple as possible. The whole point is that you are helping your customers. You are solving their problems. You are reducing their stress. So the last thing you want is to have some long, complicated onboarding process that could potentially turn a sold and landed client into somebody who never finishes the onboarding process, and then you've just lost a client. So keep it simple. I only need 2 things. I need you to sign my client agreement, and I need you to pay your invoice. So those are the only 2 things. I use PandaDoc to electronically deliver my client agreement. That way they can easily sign it on their computer or on their phone. They don't need to print anything. They don't need to scan anything. They don't need to mail anything. I try to keep it super, super simple so that my clients can get onboarded as fast as possible so that I don't lose them. And then finally, they just have to pay their invoice. I use QuickBooks Online, obviously, to send my invoices to my customers, and they can pay directly through the invoice with an ACH bank transfer or a credit card, or they can just simply mail me a check. And at the end of this video, I'm going to show you the exact client agreement that I use for all of my clients. Okay, so weekly bookkeeping. So like I said, bookkeeping is a 3-step process. Record transactions, reconcile accounts, and generate financial statements. In order to do those last 2 things, you have to record transactions. I used to wait until the end of the month to record everybody's transactions for the previous month, that was a terrible idea. It worked okay when I had 5 clients. It started to get out of control when I had 10 clients. As soon as I got to more than 10 clients, it was unmanageable. So now I do everybody's bookkeeping on a weekly basis. I log into everybody's account at least once per week, and I categorize and I record all of their transactions from the week before. And I actually have a really simple weekly checklist that I implemented on Microsoft Excel, and I'm about to show you exactly what that looks like so that you can implement it for your business. And then finally, the monthly workflow. So like I said, I close out everybody's accounts in the first week of every month. So in the first week of October, I'm going to close everybody's books in September. And I need to keep track of 3 things. Did I record your transactions? Did I reconcile your accounts? Did I send you your profit and loss? And I use the monthly workflow Excel spreadsheet to keep track of all of my clients and to keep track of each of those 3 steps in the month end close. So the theme of managing your clients is keep it simple and focus on the fundamentals. We're recording transactions, reconciling accounts, and generating financial statements. Keep those 3 things in mind. And now we are about to look at actual documents that I'm using in my business. And if you want to buy this client agreement, it's actually for sale on my website, harrisburgbookkeeping.com/store. Or if you guys get the course, all of these documents are included in the course. Last thing I want to say, I got to ask, what do you guys think about this new presentation style? So I've been recording videos in 2 different styles. One where I'm standing there talking in front of a TV screen, and the other one is where I'm sharing the screen. Let me know in the comments if you prefer this style of presentation or if you prefer like kind of like a fuller picture of my entire body in front of the TV screen. Let me know. I'm actually really curious. I love this background. I think this nature shot is beautiful. Okay, let's stop wasting time. Let me show you now the actual worksheets and client agreement that I use in my business. Okay, this client agreement is for sale on my website, harrisburgbookkeeping.com/store. And here is a brief preview of what it looks like. So first of all, I have this introduction in the top here. And here is the most important part about this agreement. So I have here the accounting services, and I simply say QuickBooks, maintenance, categorize transactions, reconcile accounts, and produce financial statements. And then the payment terms. These are the most important 2 sections here. The payment terms, the rate for all services to be performed by accountant will be blank per month, whatever that might be per month. And then I also include a 3% convenience fee if you want to pay with a card. And then finally, a $35 fee for any checks returned for insufficient funds. And then the last thing, additional services. This just covers my basis for anything that's requested that's not included in the original accounting services will be billed at $100 per hour. So this is just a very general contract. I like to be clear and concise in my communication upfront with my clients. That way there are no surprises. That way they know exactly what to expect. And then if you scroll down here, I just have a bunch of other random stuff that I don't know. It's just random stuff that's in every single client agreement. But this is the most important part, the first 2 pages here. Okay, so that's my client agreement. I send that to every new client, and then I also send them the invoice directly through QuickBooks. These are the only 2 things I need to get started. Now we have the weekly checklist. So I keep track of this on a weekly basis. I think this stuff is so important, and it took me a long time to figure this out, so I'm very excited to share this with you. Hopefully this helps you manage your clients. And hopefully this gives you peace of mind to know that you can handle 15, 20, 30, 40 clients by using these systems and processes. Okay, so whatever the name of the client is, put the name of the client there. Their email address, it's nice to have their email address right there. Now, this is the most important part. I have day and I have number. So every client gets assigned a day of the week. And then every day of the week gets assigned a number. And this just makes it really simple. So let's say, for example, today is Wednesday. If I'm doing bookkeeping for my weekly clients, I'll go in here, I'll type in the number 3, and I'll say, okay, these are all of the clients who I need to do bookkeeping for on Wednesday. And I won't worry about anybody else. This helps reduce my stress. This helps me manage my workload. I'm not worried about all 44 clients all at once. I'm only worried about the clients who I work on Wednesday. And then as I work on them, I will enter in today's date. So if it's blank, I know that means I didn't work on that particular client that day, which means Thursday, I'm going to have to circle back and make sure I service this client. But as long as everybody has a date for this week, I know they've all been serviced. And then the next week, I'll add a new column for a new week, and I'll just keep track of all of my weekly clients every single day on this checklist. And this seriously reduces my stress, helps me manage all of my clients. And it's super simple, right? Like, this is not a complex CRM. It's not overcomplicated. It's not intimidating. It's not difficult to use. Incredibly simple. Anybody can make this simple spreadsheet, and it really helps a lot. Okay, now this is my monthly workflows. This is the last thing I'm going to show you, and it looks a lot like the weekly checklist. It just has a couple different columns here. So once again, I have the client, and then I have the day of the week. So we can go back to look at Wednesday. So we can look at Wednesday. We can see here, these are all of the clients who I service on Wednesday. So at the end of the month, whenever I'm closing out their books, I'm not trying to close out everybody every day as fast as possible. I'm only worried about Wednesday clients. And then Thursday, I'm only worried about closing the books for Thursday clients. Managing my workload like this helps me focus on all the aspects of my business. This helps me continue to do sales, continue to do marketing, continue to respond to emails and answer phone calls, even during the busy season, because on Wednesday, I'm only worried about 9 or 10 clients. I'm not worried about 44 clients. The 3 columns right here. Did I categorize your transactions? Did I reconcile your accounts? And did I send you your profit and loss statement? So if I have a no here, or notes, or a couple words here, or it's blank, that means I haven't done it yet. And so what I would probably do is the following week, I would go back to this client, check our emails, and let them know, hey, I'm still waiting on your September bank statements. Please send those as soon as possible so that I can close out the books for September. That's it. These are the 2 main checklists I use. I really hope this video was helpful. If you want to check out my course, there's a link in the description of this video. I hope you all start a super successful bookkeeping business and grow to be as big as you possibly can.